have the #1 scoring defense. What jumps out the most when you look
Everything. I mean, I feel like they have a complete defense. Their D-line is extremely good. You know, getting to the quarterback. Their linebackers are fast, great overall players, and then their DBs are also good as well. Some good physical safeties. They do a lot of things with their defense that makes it a challenge. So we just have to be able to hone in on our game plan, and I think we'll be fine.
How physical do these games get with the Ravens? They seem to be, one of the most physical teams you guys will probably play this season.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best, way to describe their defense. It's physical. So we just have to go out there and be physical as well. You know, like we always do. It's going to be a physical ball game. We know that going into it. We just got to stretch and claw every play.
What can those two deep connections that you had last week with Deshaun do for your guy, your guys' chemistry or whatever, going forward?
Yeah, I mean, as we know, Deshaun loves to throw that deep ball. So it's obviously very beneficial to us to have a connection there. The deep ball obviously flips the field, gives us a great opportunity at not just scoring 3, but 6. So it's really important.
I think it was important to that last one. It was 20-0 at the time. That last test, important to get that on video to show everybody there still is the threat of Watson going deep after that injury.
100%. He went out there. He showed that he could throw the ball deep. Yeah, I mean, just like how you said. I'm sure people were excited to see that. They just want to see him go out there and play like himself. So that's what he did.
Kevin's talked about how you draw so much attention from the defense. Have you noticed you're getting even more this year?
Certain scenarios, for sure. I mean, it's just the nature of it. Sometimes teams decide to double team you or give some extra attention to you, and that's when other players have to step up. And obviously, I believe we have the guys in the room to do it, so it's not really a problem.
But you still have big numbers despite that attention. So how are you able to kind of defeat that extra attention?
Just by really paying attention to what those guys are trying to do. Pay attention to what those guys are trying to do, and just go out there and just execute.
Marlon Humphrey didn't play in their first game. Now he's back.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. It's a big difference.
Yeah, obviously it's a big difference. I mean, Marlon is a Pro Bowl caliber player, so he presents probably a little bit of a tougher challenge than the guys they had playing in the first game. Just because he starts over those guys. I actually know Marlon going all the way back to Bama, so yeah, he's a tough opponent for sure.
So have you guys added the helmet deflection play to the playbook this week?
Yeah, it was already in the playbook. That's the way we drew it up.
Hey, there's been a lot made that your numbers are up, and I know Deshaun was out a few weeks, whatever. But spreading the ball out to everybody, how important is that? And do you think that's going to happen organically now that he's back?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously that's a huge thing when it comes to offense, just spreading the ball around, getting everybody touches, confusing the defense, not giving them a point of reference or where the ball is going to consistently go. Just a great strategy overall for offenses for sure.
Have you seen more zip on Deshaun's ball as, from last week into this week's practice? Is he getting healthier every day?
I mean, personally, my preference is, for it to not have that much zip on it. Just run my route, catch the ball, and get going. So, Deshaun naturally throws a very catchable, very comfortable ball. So, take that how you want it. I mean, it doesn't have great a lot of zip on it for a reason. I mean, it's easy for the receiver to catch that way.
Amari, is Deshaun the most aggressive quarterback you've played with when it comes to trying to push the ball down the field and kind of hunting people?
I would say so. Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's always looking for ways to throw the ball downfield, and for the right reasons. Obviously, one of those plays, like I said before, it just puts you right in scoring range. So it's something that we obviously all the time talk about and work on for sure.
In terms of like how good his deep ball is, you play with some pretty good quarterbacks. Like, how does it rank for you in terms of those players?
I think number one, I mean, the one I caught last week when we were up 20, it was perfect. Like it was right on the money. I don't think I've caught a more perfect deep ball than that. So yeah, I'll put him up there, number one.
Kareem said he wanted to thank you for falling down at like the 2 or 3 yard line. Did he say anything to you?
Yeah, even telling me how generous I am to him. So I don't really plan on doing that much more though.
Aside from getting Deshaun back, how do you feel like this offense has grown since the last time you faced Baltimore?
Just resilience. I would say, no matter what the situation is in the game, we just try to always play complementary football. Defense goes out there and, they give up some points, which they seldomly do. We try to go back out there and complement that by going out and scoring. And then, just the resilience. No matter what situation is presented to us, we try to go out there and respond the best way we can. So, yeah.
Going back to training camp, you guys talked about being explosive in the passing game. Obviously, there's been some circumstances, but do you still see that the passing game can be explosive out there?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're not really even halfway through our games yet, so it's November, December football. A lot of things can and will change. I think we're starting to hit our stride. We're honing in on that on the pass game. A lot of guys are up, healthy, so I think so, 100%.
Were you a year or two ahead of Marlon?
Two.
Did you guys match up in practice though a little bit?
Yeah, he was a freshman. I was a junior. We used to match up a lot for sure.
Did you know he had NFL talent when you saw him the first time?
He was a freshman.
Give him too much credit.
Yeah, he was a freshman. I used to be like picking on him a little bit, calling him a rookie and stuff like that. He was a lot more unrefined. Obviously, coming in as an 18-year-old, more so a track guy. But he got better as the years went on and eventually worked his way up to becoming a first-round pick. And it was just part of the process of him being at Bama, learning under Coach Saban, and getting better every day. So.
Because Baltimore's so far ahead here in this divisional race at 7-2. I know you guys have a lot of football left to still play, but does that make this game all that more important for your prospects to win this division, that you kind of have to get this one Sunday?
I mean, yeah, 100%. I mean, as you can see, the division is playing pretty well. It's a tough division. Obviously, I feel like some of the best games and most memorable games for me are the ones that you feel like you have a lot on the line for. So, yeah, it's going to be a good game, a meaningful game, and we just got to go out there and handle our business.
Cool.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Joe, what have your thoughts been on the way you guys have been able to sustain the running game without Nick? You kind of had to go to a back-by-committee approach and like that. How's that work out?
Yeah, obviously, Nick's a huge component of our run game, and he makes up for a lot of things. It's not perfectly blocked sometimes, but I think Ford, Reem, Pierre have done a good job in finding kind of their niche coming in and running it. Last week we weren't quite as successful as we wanted to. We knew our defense was going to play well, so we wanted to kind of ball control a little bit. We didn't run as efficiently as we wanted to last week. But I think guys are starting to understand like where we want to hit the ball, where we want to find the rush lanes, and we're trying to keep those guys fresh. So if they're all around, anywhere from like 8 to 15 carries, I think that would be good for them to.
Helpful that all three of them kind of bring a different skill set. I mean, you got Kareem inside, and you feel like Jerome can take it when he needs to.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, with Nick, you kind of have all of it in one. Yeah. But Reem, I think, understands his role, and Ford and Pierre can take it the distance if they need to on those outside runs and things like that. So it's very complimentary, and we're still trying to get the feel, but I think we've been slowly progressing.
You played left guard on Sunday?
We'll see. No, we're working through that right now. Obviously Jed, a steady left tackle for us, and losing a guy like that, like, luckily it's not as bad as could be. But we're kind of figuring that out this week. We have a few new bodies in here, so we're getting to know each other a little bit and get a little bit extra work in.
You feel comfortable? You played what was it, like
2021.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had to play what, 1 or 2 games?
Two games at left tackle. I remember them. No. Yeah, that was a few years ago, but I know Bill's working to try and get our 5 best guys out there, and we'll kind of see how that plays out.
I mean, it's a bad timing, that kind of uncertainty against this defense, isn't it?
Yeah, they're good for. I mean, they're one of the best defenses in the league. They've been playing lights out lately. You just look at their last few games, and they've been very dominant. The first time we played them, they did a good job with us, and they're very complimentary. Like, they run a lot of games, picks. Their backers are very good on the blitz. So it's a tough challenge, especially at Baltimore. So we're trying to put in that extra work, so we're ready to go come Sunday.
Joe, you had said 5 best guys, and I think that's an interesting thought because you kind of hear 2 different schools. Like, do you put your 5 best linemen and then figure it out, or do you try to find the 5 best guys at each position? When you've got so much uncertainty, like how flexible do you have to be in a situation like that?
Yeah, O-line's one of those positions where, as the year goes on, you're hopeful that everybody stays healthy, but it's a tough position. So I think Coach Callahan has had a lot of experience with mixing and matching guys and keeping us ready for really no matter what. COVID kind of helped with that too because you had those random sicknesses, but it's one of those things where you just stay ready. For me, for Wyatt, for Poe, you're just trying to understand the whole playbook. So if you do have to move out to tackle or do something differently, you kind of have an understanding of what's going on out there, and you can perform as well as you can.
I mean, you've gone through seasons where, I don't know if all 5 guys have made it through the whole season, but most of them are, playing every snap. So just how unsettling is it to be the midway point and really not know who your 2 tackles are going to be?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd rather have, you were hoping at this point it was Jack and Jed out there, and then, DeJuan, he's trying to fight and get back. So it's one of those things where we're battling, and we know it's football. Obviously, you'd rather have your first 5 out there for the continuity sakes, but we're gonna work this week, and we're gonna try and do our best.
When you saw Jed and then DeJuan kind of miss time Sunday, are you thinking if something happens, I might have to go to tackle?
Yeah, it's always a contingency plan. I think I don't know how many it would be, but the 3rd or 4th tackle on game days is usually me. So I'm always ready if I have to go out there in a pinch, on game day.
It felt like Jed was playing maybe his best ball of his career the last month or so. Is that fair? Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I think the last couple of weeks he really has really stepped up. I mean, he was good in pass pro. He was running the ball. I mean, there's a few times where he was knocking guys down, finishing, helping other people out. Really good energy. So it was definitely unfortunate timing for him, and that's football for you. It sucks. The injuries suck, but I think he was understanding what he had to do and really is playing some of his better football.
What do you think happened there, Joel? I mean, to us, it looked like he's playing much better. What do you think? What was the difference? What
for Jed?
Switch on? Yeah.
I think for him it was just. It's really, each person's different, but he was getting in I think a comfort. He was understanding. I mean, if you just look at his technique, I think it was slowly improving throughout the whole process. And there was plays where he just had he just had a good energy about himself, and I don't know where that comes from, but he was playing with a good energy. There was a few times where he was uncovered and he was knocking my guy off and doing all those things. So it was good. I think it's just development. It takes time to play O-line in this league, and he was just taking those little steps.
Amari described this offense as resilient. How have you seen the guys respond with the injuries and so much uncertainty happening?
Yeah, very resilient. Anytime you lose your quarterback, you lose Nick, you lose Jack, Jed now. Guys have to step up, and coach, our part of our mantra as a team is being resilient. So we've really focused on that. Like, no matter who's out there, we got to put our best foot forward and really try and be resilient for it. But I think the group has done a good job. Our quarterbacks have come in on short weeks sometimes. Guys have, been picked up off the street and had to learn a new scheme. So we're really trying to fight through that. And hopefully, as the season progresses, we can get some guys back and try and be at our best.
What's 90? Is it 92, right, for Baltimore?
Yeah.
7.5 sacks. I don't want to butcher his name, but what's he doing so well to put up those numbers?
Yeah, he's explosive. He's a powerful guy. He's kind of like, I'm not gonna say undersized because he's like 6'2", 300 pounds, but he's not a huge guy. You know what I mean? But he's very explosive off the ball, and they have I mean, he's winning one-on-one matchups too, but they have a great pick game, and they do some things with their linebackers where he's coming free a lot, but he's relentless in the way he's played, and he's really, I think over his 4 years there, he's progressed. They've done a good job of kind of developing those guys, but he's playing good. He plays hard, and he's been capitalizing. You know, you can get pressure and stuff, but he's been capitalizing on those sacks, and obviously he's leading the league in, I think, D tackles and sacks.
What can you tell us about Leroy? What you've got to know about him, just his game?
Yeah, he's athletic. He moves really well. I think he played tight end maybe in a past life, and you know, he came from San Fran, so he had kind of that Shanahan system, which I played in as a rookie. So I kind of talked to him about that a little bit. He was there with Trent, and he's still developing, you know, but you can see all the traits are there, like the athleticism, the smarts, and he's been fun to work with. You know, he runs around pretty good out there, so it's good to see him out on the field.
We've asked you about Amari before, but just like, is he as steady as he seems? You know, it feels like no matter what, he's catching these balls. He's just, you know, kind of the same guy.
Yeah, I've him and Nick both, you know, when they're out there, like you look in their eyes, we can be up 20, we can be down 20, and they're just the same guy no matter what, at practice, at games. They're so focused on the next play and just doing the thing. And I think anytime we have a big third down or something, you're looking like, all right, is Amari going to make this play for us? And he just comes up with it. You know, even when he looks like he's banged up or something, he's back out there 2 plays later and just does the same thing over time. But I think he's been such a steadying presence for the receiver room and for the offense all year. Thanks, guys.
So, Ravens run game. I never speak too much about Amari, but then they do have Gus Edwards and maybe Stockton too. What do you think your guys make performance and make some moves? And yes, he is playing.
Yeah, they got a good run game. I think they got the best one in the league right now. But just dynamic from all phases, whether that's Lamar able to run it himself or their multiple running backs that they have and their front line. So they do a good job of scheming those guys up and getting guys open, running lanes and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be a tough challenge. And on top of that, they got their receivers and everything. So it should be a good challenge for us.
Denzel, they're healthier this time around than they were when they came to Cleveland. What has to change for you guys on your side of the ball to get a better result with them having a full roster?
Yeah, I think we're healthier too this time around. So, like I said, it should be a good matchup. They got, like you said, they are healthier on that side. They got a great group of receivers and returning players on their side of the ball. And we just got to all win our matchups, and it's going to be a challenge for us, but I think we're up for it.
When we talked to Juan Thornhill on Monday, he said you're the best cornerback in the league. I'll ask you if you agree with that. But also, is this your best season, do you think?
I appreciate that statement from Juan. I take a lot of pride in my game. That's our goal in trying to be the best. And to answer your question, this is my best season. The season's not over yet, so I'm just trying to stay focused on games at a time and focus on getting a win. And that's really where my focus is at. So if I'm doing my part, doing my job, then cool. But I'll look at any accolades and everything at the end of the season.
MJ said that this may not only be the best division in football right now, but of all time. What are your thoughts on how good this division is?
I agree. It's a tough division. I mean, you obviously see it with the records that we all have, just being close compared to other divisions, and just the talent and the level of play that guys are playing at in this division has been tough. And so it's going to be a battle the entire season, and see where we are coming towards the end of the year, and trying to make the playoffs.
Denzel, Schwartz was really upset about the first Baltimore game. You guys started with 3 and out, and then the Lamar touchdown kind of changed everything. Do you guys review that game as motivation, or do you just look at the last couple Ravens games to prepare for this game?
Yeah, we watched the games and watched that to see what we could correct and fix. There was a lot of things that we didn't execute well in that first game against the Ravens that we're looking to clean up for this next one, and that could help change the game. So we just had to be a lot cleaner. We didn't play a real clean game in that first go around. So hopefully this next time around we could get it done.
That was the defense's worst game of the year?
Potentially. I didn't see the numbers and stuff like that, but yeah, like I said, we didn't play the best game that game, so looking to see how we could clean it up and fix it for this next time around to focus to get a win.
I understand there's a lot of football you guys still have to play here, but because Baltimore's 7-2 and in the spot that they are, how big is this game if you guys want to win the division this year?
Yeah, I mean, every game's a big game. I mean, we only got, 17, 18, well, however many games it is. Not many games, so every game is this huge, big game, so we got to get a win, get as many wins as we can. So I think that's the focus, just trying to find a way to get a win this week. But to answer your question, every game's a big game to me.
Denzel, what are you working on? What are you trying to get better at?
For me, I'm just trying to be the best me that I could be for this team. Wherever that's at, that's me on special teams, coming off the edge, and just trying to do everything I can to the best of my ability and go hard for my team and just try to find a way to get a win. I think the biggest thing is getting wins, and that's where my focus is at. And so out of practice, I work on my technique and as a DB and corner, trying to perfect that as best as I can. And just wherever I'm at, just trying to be the best at what I can do.
With all respect to the other quarterbacks you guys face, Lamar he seems to be his own guy here. Just how challenging is it to face a guy that has the ability to just single-handedly beat you, whether it's with his arm or with his feet?
Yeah, it's tough. Lamar, he's a dynamic player, able to make every throw on the field. And whether that's on a run or in the pocket, it just presents a challenge. Just you feel like you got guys covered, but he's still back there running around, dodging guys, and just kind of got a plaster drill, and then he's able to still throw it 40 yards deep or whatever it is and make the throw. So he definitely presents a different challenge than a lot of quarterbacks in the league. And, yeah, he's a great player.
How do you prepare for that? Like during practice, like how do you get ready to face a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just executing our assignments, I believe, and hitting our spots, whether that's a D-line, rushing, and trying to contain them as best as possible, back-end guys covering and staying on our mans the entire time, and making tackles. We got to be able to tackle and get guys on the ground.
Denzel, now that Odell's back for this one, how's he looking to you when you're studying him?
He looks good. Odell, he's a great receiver. He's always been a great receiver. And able to make a lot of plays for those guys, great hands, great routes. He's a great player. So, I mean, like I said, he's going to present a challenge for us as well as all the receivers and their entire team. They got a great team over there. But I think we're up for the challenge, though. So, looking forward to it.
Is there something specific you picked up from, I know you guys always talk about the idea of making each other better, talking to each other.
Right.
From his time here, is there something you picked up from going against him?
Potentially. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to the matchups, and I think it's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to going against those guys.
Denzel, Martin Emerson said that one thing he noticed about you were the only guy who wore his helmet and walked through. Why do you do that?
For me, I just like to stay locked in and be where I'm at. So out there on the field, that's where I'm at. I play the game with my helmet on. And so I wear my helmet just to kind of stay locked in and focus on my job and assignment and what I got to do. And just going through where I'm supposed to start at, like just going through the calls, going through what I'm seeing on the play calls and everything. So I think it's just a representation of me just trying to lock in and focus on the job at hand.
Where'd you pick that up from? Coach somewhere down the line? Suggested a player?
I mean, I think Ohio State definitely prepared me coming into the league and just trying to be a pro and having a routine and everything. And coming into the league was just trying to find ways to be a pro and have a great routine and everything. And that's just one of the things that kind of stuck with me that maybe a lot of guys didn't do or whatever, and something that helped me out where I could focus and lock in and tell myself, if I'm on the football field, then I'm here to play football and not be anywhere else.
MJ said he copied that. Were you aware that he kind of took that idea from you?
Yeah, he told me.
Is that kind of flattering that the young guy looks at that example and says, hey, I'm going to borrow this one?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I try to be a leader for those guys, whether that's us communicating, me being able to get any tips or anything I'm seeing out there and help those guys out, whether it's routine or anything out there on the field. So I just try to be the best example as I can for those guys. And so I'm glad he's able to take that and maybe help his game out. I mean, he's obviously been playing great, so he's doing something right over there. But, yeah.
Denzel, it sounds like a lot of these guys look to you as a leader. Who did you look to?
When?
When you were coming up either in the league or in college as you were trying to develop your craft and work habits, who did you want to
That's a good question. I think I kind of tried to. I feel like I'm my own player in a sense. It's not really knowing that I really just watch. I know a lot of guys say they might watch Deion Sanders or a lot of great players out there, but I just felt like I kind of have my own game and don't really play like everyone. So I just try to listen to my coaches and everything and be the best player that I could be. Because I mean, everybody's different. Nobody's the same. So just looking at everybody though, just trying to see guys' routines and what they do and what they're good at and how I can incorporate it into my game maybe. But just trying to be myself. That's it.
Is that surreal to you? I mean, it feels like you were just a rookie just a short time ago, and now you have players kind of following you and kind of taking after you. Is that a surreal feeling for you?
Yeah, it is crazy. I feel like I just came into the league. Like I remember my first day here, and I'm going on year 6 now in the NFL. So time definitely be flying. I'll be telling everybody time be flying by. But it's been fun, man. I'm enjoying my time here, enjoying playing this game that I've been playing since a kid.
Denzel, what are the challenges that kind of playing an opponent for the second time brings? Obviously, you guys played him earlier in the year. What challenge does that bring for both teams kind of playing each other again?
Yeah, just having that familiar. You're familiar with the teams and what they're capable of, what they're good at, what they can do. But they are healthier, like guys said, and so they're going to present another challenge and covering those guys and guys that has returned. But I think just being familiar with the teams.
Greg said yesterday that you guys want to make teams adjust to you defensively. Does that mean more like game plan stuff, or are you talking about just the way you're playing, once you get out?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's game plan stuff, and it's just how we're playing out there, playing fast, playing hard, and making teams react to us. So I think it's both.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a little extra juice for this game at all, just based on the fact that, like, is there anything to the fact that you guys are going in with the #1 defense? They have the defense that is #1 against scoring, sacks, and everything else. Does that add something to this?
I'm not familiar with all the statistics of it all. I know we got in this building, and I believe that we're the best defense in the league. So we got to go out there and show it at the end of the day. We can't just say it and not back it up.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be a competition between. It might look like it to the outside world, but we trying to take care of their offense at the end of the day.
So the more juice in the fact the way the defense played in the first ball.
I come out there with juice every week, Tony. You know that. I'll try to fly around, make plays, man, and I know our guys gonna be fired up just based off of where we could be and stuff that we put on tape so far. That's not us, man. Like we gotta keep improving every week. It's gonna be we riding off a good win last week, and we gonna keep that same energy.
So how do you get that consistency, Grant? Because there's been times you guys look great, and then times when you probably would admit it wasn't as good as that.
Yeah. It's a tough league, man. The teams are good as well, but we just have to. We can't take any weeks off. We can't take any plays off. So as you can see, 3 or 4 plays, it could be a difference in the game. So you know that we're very familiar with this team. We have a good game plan, and we know that what they did to us last time when they came here. So, we have a great week of practice and go in this game with a killer mentality.
Grant, there was the game in Baltimore where you guys intercepted Lamar 4 times, and all 4 of them were intended for Mark Andrews that day.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
And then there's last time 2 touchdowns. He's always a part of this game, isn't he?
Mark Andrews?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's a good tight end, man. You can't take it away from him. He's very comfortable in their offense. He finds some open spaces in his own coverage. So you always got to be aware of where 89 is at. That's one of his favorite targets.
He's kind of like Kelsey in that it's coming to him, but he makes his catches. I mean, not against you, but just overall.
Yeah.
A lot of times he's the only playmaker out there for this team.
Nah, they got a lot of playmakers, but we got a game plan.
Okay.
Grant, you mentioned the last game. They come into this one offensively much healthier team than the last. So what has to change for you guys on your side of the ball to slow them up, considering they got a full roster and how successful they were in that first matchup?
Yeah, they have. Well, they're gonna look at our game and see the plays that they had success with, and of course they're gonna have some more in their arsenal. But we have to correct that. First of all, we already did after we played them, but we got to know what they're gonna come with, man. And they're on a hot streak right now. You know, they got a good win that they just had against a good opponent. So you know, we just got to correct our mistakes, man, and move forward. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You go.
You've talked in the past about just your connection with Odell through LSU and everything, and the relationship there. What's it going to mean from a personal standpoint to you to be able to face him?
Oh, you know, my first time. Oh yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, he's a good dude, man. He gets a bad rep sometimes, but man, that's my dude. He's a great person. In the locker room, he's a great teammate. So you know, I got nothing respect for that dude. But we step between these white lines, man. You know, it's game on. So we could talk at the end, but I'm not really worried about that right now.
Grant, obviously, you guys are all more defensively, you're both playing well. How much of playing good defense is scheme versus attitude, or are those not two separate things?
Yeah, that's two peas in a pod, man. So that's you got to have both to be an elite defense. We have the right coach for it. You know, Schwartz, he preaches that, playing with attitude and knowing your assignment. So, you know, in order to be a great defense, man, you got to have that chemistry and you got to have that attitude, that swag. So I think we have both, man. We got to keep it rolling throughout the season.
And is attitude the biggest difference this year, or is it something different?
Well, I don't know. It's a lot of little differences that make a big difference, you know. So I can't pinpoint each one of them, but I do feel like we had an attitude that nobody's better than us. So that always helps.
Grant, it seemed like when you got that taunting penalty, it seemed like you weren't happy with that.
Yeah, no.
What was going on there?
Nah, man, y'all know me, man. I'm not gonna stand over no dude and talk no. Come on, man. Like, it was just funny how we all saw the play. You know, I don't really need to speak too much about it, but I wasn't standing over him on the disrespectful things like that.
Do you guys relish the role of sort of nobody giving you a chance to win a game? I mean, it's all about the Baltimore Ravens and how tough they are and how tough they are at home. I mean, do you guys kind of like that when it seems like it's the world against you in a way?
It don't seem like that to me. I feel like we all in this building know what we got. You know, of course they won last game, but now we got a chance to go in their place and do the same thing that they did to us, and might meet them again in the long run. So that's what's on our mind.
Grant, you got a lot of football to play, and I understand that. But considering they already have 7 wins, game and a half separation here in the standings, just how big is this game for your prospects to try and come back and win this division?
Well, it's a division game, you know. It's a big game in that aspect, but you know, we play big games all the time, man. So I think every week in this league, as long as we stacking wins, that's what we focused on. So, and you know, we go into each week that it's the most important game of the season, to be honest. So I might have a little more riding on it, but it's our same mentality.
Can you believe how tough this division is this year with everyone having at least 5 wins?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been like that. Like, you know, we have a very elite division, I feel like, with some elite defense and being specifically. So you know, we got to come in and show up. Appreciate y'all. All right.